The top stories. Expert says conflicts in Africa continue to hinder the continent from fully harnessing its vast natural resources. And the media expert urges strong Pan-African media to counter negative narratives on Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to EBC World English News with me, Shifara Olako, and many thanks for watching us. Now, Ethiopia and Italy have signed a 4.5 million euros grant agreement to establish an incubation center for high-tech innovation enterprises in Ethiopia. The initiative includes a fab lab with advanced prototyping tools, a digital training hub, and support for local tech startups. Finance Minister Ahmed Shide and Italy's Minister of Universities and Research, Anna Maria Bernini, signed the agreement in Addis Ababa, accompanied by the Italian Ambassador Agostino Palisi. The project aims to enhance Ethiopia's service delivery, foster innovation, and promote job creation in key sectors. Ahmed emphasized that the partnership aligns with Ethiopia's long-term development goals, while Minister Bernini expressed Italy's commitment to future collaborations. Beyond technological development, the agreement is expected to strengthen Ethiopia's digital economy and position the country as a regional hub for innovation. The grant agreement builds on Ethiopia and Italy's decades-long partnership, which has supported key areas such as infrastructure, health, and education, further cementing their strong diplomatic and economic relations. The United Nations World Tourism Organization UNWTO has highlighted Ethiopia as a standout in African tourism, with international arrivals experiencing a significant increase in 2024, surpassing pre-pandemic levels. According to the UNWTO data, Ethiopia has seen a 40% rise in international tourist arrivals over the past 5 years, providing a substantial boost to its tourism sector, which was heavily impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. This growth has made Ethiopia one of the fastest-growing tourism destinations in Africa in the past 5 years. Morocco and Egypt rank second and third, respectively, in the continent's tourism growth as per the 2024 report. Globally, Ethiopia ranks sixth, following Qatar, El Salvador, Albania, Saudi Arabia, and Curacao. Moving on, the Ethiopian Red Cross Society has launched the country's first humanitarian school, marking a significant step toward strengthening the nation's disaster response capacity and humanitarian expertise. Deputy Speaker of the House of People's Representative, government officials, NGOs, representatives, and ambassadors were present at the launch event. The Deputy Speaker highlighted the Ethiopian Red Cross Society's long-standing commitment to supporting those affected by natural and man-made disaster, and said the school would cultivate a new generation capable of delivering swift scientific humanitarian responses. The Deputy Speaker also assured the government's full support in helping the Red Cross Society achieve its objectives. Secretary General Abarra Lulesa stated that the school aims to produce a generation grounded in humanity. He announced that the curriculum is ready and registration will begin on January 28, 2025. Welcome back. Now, an expert says ensuring peace and security is essential for Africa to fully harness its abundant natural resources. Speaking to EBC, Mohammed Habib, Assistant Professor of Law at the Addis Ababa University, noted that although the continent is rich in natural resources, conflicts hindered its potential. He emphasized the need for peace, security, and cooperation to unlock Africa's resources. Have a listen to this.
Without democratic governance, it may not be possible to utilize the resource. What could be the amount of that resource? However, it will remain that it's not utilized, and not only utilized, it is also misused for wrong purposes. Therefore, one may conclude that for a rich continent like Africa, the best opportunity, the best chance for better utilization of that resource could be first ensuring stability throughout the continent. That requires, of course, continental effort.
The legal expert further stressed the importance of promoting a positive image of Africa to strengthen its voice on global platforms.
In order for Africans to be listened and respected, Africans should have a solution first of all. When we Africans gather and we propose solutions, and we can tell the rest of the world that this should not be our destiny. Look, that the colonial times are gone. Other problems might have come, but still Africa must survive. Africans should live like all other people in such a dilemma that the rest of the world may assist Africans who may think good about themselves, who may not be pessimistic about their future. This is there is one Afro-pessimism. Africans cannot think except about their problem. No. We have passed more serious problems than this. Therefore, the way we think about our future should be full of optimism, and our optimism should be supported by others hoping to support Africans in a way that Africans, at the end of the day, should be masters of their future.
He concluded by urging African Union leaders to evaluate their achievements and shortcomings to devise better solutions to move forward. Have a listen to this.
For African Union leadership, the Commission may not be blamed for committing any problem, but not doing anything in itself is a big problem. In that respect, African leadership at the level of the African Union, at the regional economic communities, should think about what is it that we do. From every time that you are a leader, and then others may come, and if you count, the cycle is there. So it's very clear that it means there has not been a legacy of progress, a legacy of good initiatives during our times. That should be taken into account. At the level of leadership, of individual countries, one would say that let anybody begin by doing whatever he can do, whatever he can do, and should not also fear the participation of the people of their own countries.
And finally, media experts has criticized some Western media outlets for portraying Africa as a continent plagued by conflicts and crises, calling for a strong Pan-African media to counter negative narratives. George Nyabuga, Associate Professor of Media and Journalism, noted that the failure of some African leaders and citizens to achieve lasting peace has fueled such portrayals. Johannes Fentaun has more on that.
The portrayal of Africa in international media has long been a topic of debate, with many critics pointing to a persistent pattern of negative stereotypes and limited representation. We spoke with Professor George Nabuga, an associate professor of media and journalism at the Aga Khan University's Graduate School of Media and Communication, about the underlying motives behind this portrayal. The Western media's depiction of Africa has often been criticized for focusing on conflict, poverty, and disease, neglecting the continent's rich cultures, economic progress, and diverse perspectives. Professor Nabuga explained that Africa is frequently portrayed in Western media as a continent consumed by conflict, drought, and other socio-economic and political problems. He argued that this is not merely a reflection of a reality, but is driven by the Western media's own agenda. He also said that the inability of African leaders and its people to bring lasting peace in the continent has given the material for these media outlets.
There is a narrative that Africa is, of course, fraught with poverty, with conflict, with numerous challenges that African leadership is unable to resolve. One of the things, for example, that we're currently seeing is the conflict in eastern parts of DRC. And whenever we see that kind of conflict, that sort of illustrates and confirms some of the ideas and agendas that the Western media wants to drive. And of course, the inability of the African leadership and African peoples to resolve such conflicts then gives the Western media the material and the content that they need to support some of the arguments that they want to advance through certain narratives and certain discourses that they want to, advance.
The professor emphasized the critical need for Africa to establish its own Pan-African media platform. He urged African leaders to show clear vision and the ability to mobilize resources and to agree on the vital importance of such a platform to counter the often negative international narrative and to showcase the diversity and progress happening across the continent.
If you're going to have a Pan-African media platform or a news agency, just maybe to use that example, because you must have a clear idea of why it is that you want to set up one. Otherwise, it will go the same route as PANA. But majorly, let me say that it is because of the inability to mobilize resources to put such an outfit together, and the inability of African leaders to think that that kind of outfit is necessary if we have to retell the African stories, or if we have to develop content, the kind of content that we want to see out of Africa, and stop complaining that maybe Western media is portraying Africa negatively.
The professor's call for a Pan-African media platform highlights the need for the continent to control its own narrative and showcase its wings.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you have been watching EBC World English News. Now, a quick recap of the top stories. Experts says conflicts in Africa continue to hinder the continent from fully harnessing its vast natural resources. And media experts urges strong Pan-African media to counter negative narratives on Africa. Well, the viewers, with that, we come to the end of today's news. Many thanks for watching us. Bye-bye.
Did you